we waiting on anyone else?
I believe Rodage, but are we waiting for
We-
him or are we beginning?
No, we don't need Radich.
Okay. Can someone explain to me what's going on?
Yep.
I requested a probable cause hearing, and I
Yep.
think it's happening right now.
Oh, no. Is it?
No.
Oh. Fuck, okay. Then I don't know why we're here.
I'm recusing myself from the case. I was like, I know. I shouldn't even say that. I was with them in the cells when they were discussing this. It was purely on my fault for letting them know that, hey, I wasn't taking cases at the time to where they to where I allowed myself to get conflicted in that case. And I was just unaware of this as I was in discussions with Falconer at the time and was not paying attention, but that's fully my fault.
Fuck
I
that
should have
junkie
been
bastard.
paid. I
Okay,
should have been paying
Robin.
attention.
That's not needed.
But I will fully recuse myself because I am conflicted.
Jayna, are you? Can you explain to me? Where do you think, even in a place where that you had a misstep, that it's appropriate for you to be in the cells when you were entering to preside on this case?
I believed it was fine. Because I recall the situation as them as just asking for help with the bail process.
Was which of the officers here was part of that conversation?
I remember it was
Yep.
Brian. There was the chief was there. Chief Turner was there.
I believe
Frost
it was me,
there.
Frost, Turner, and it may have been Peters. I don't remember who the
Peters
fourth
was
off-
there. He
Yeah.
was. He
Okay.
no. He just walked. He walked in late, didn't he? From like the
yeah.
the picture room. No.
Okay. Sorry, apologies. Knight, could you is this true? Was it just a conversation about bail conditions or was it a conversation
No,
more about the case itself?
It expanded beyond that. So we
Okay.
had, if I remember correctly, we had asked for some member of the judiciary to make their way down, as I haven't really gone through this new iteration of the system. Turner hasn't. And so we wanted to make sure that we were following the procedure correctly, because there's some confusion over, this new thing, new to me at least, where bail is done before the docket posting and like what the series of steps are. And the conversation further expanded into discussions around the charges we would press, which I'm not going to go into in detail for obvious reasons, but
Of course.
given, and please, Jayna, correct me if I'm wrong. Jayna fit well for that, given that she was on a self-imposed suspension.
Self-imposed suspension. Yes.
So she couldn't inherently be conflicted, as per her statement, and so she sort of was there as like a workshopping alongside us. Now, whether or not she was in conversation and didn't note it, but we went through the entire why we're pushing it and this and that.
Okay.
So,
Jayna, can you do me a favor and let Captain Radich in? I think he's at the door. Okay. Jayna, can you are you also aware why this is a very serious issue for even if you were in a room when the court? Okay, so the case is being discussed. Why this is a huge matter of confliction and inherently violates you to be impartial and unbiased towards somebody who is looking for a fair trial and due process.
Yes.
Okay. I'll bring this up with the other justices and we'll have an internal conversation. But there's probably going to be ramifications from this. I'll be honest with you.
To her defense, I know she was actively having to manage conversations on her tablet, so it's reasonable that she may not have realized what conversation was fully happening around her. So
I can appreciate your intention
Yeah.
Knight, but I'll be honest, I don't find negligence a valid argument for this. I take
Yeah.
confliction very seriously.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Yep.
Is there anything else that we need to address on this fact now that Jayna has recused herself?
Motion to dismiss with prejudice.
What has been posted to the docket so far?
A motion to dismiss based on lack of probable cause, but now given the confliction that Judge Pierce had ruled on the motion, but was conflicted in doing so, she may have marred this case beyond reproach.
I will have to look over the case, and I will. Unfortunately, this case specifically, I cannot actually do that, but I will pass it over to another member of the justices to look it over and see if that is a possibility. Would you mind adding that motion to the docket, Robin?
I shall. I believe Justice Hart's around.
I believe she is. I'll ask her. Is that everything? Is there anything else?
But we're gonna rebut that.
Understood.
That's fine.
Yeah.
It can be on the docket though.
Oh yes.
For the sake
Okay,
of
that's perfect.
transparency.
Yep.
Do you want to ask about the probable cause hearing, Brian?
Yeah. So we were discussing this internally. Is the probable cause hearing something that's new? Is it are these listed anywhere? I was trying to get like context to like what kind of things to expect when we're posting on the docket and what those like what the.
I mean, my intent was it was essentially a pre-trial hearing to discuss the probable cause or lack thereof, and motions may be made upon that. I guess maybe by calling it specifically a probable cause hearing, it may have caused confusion. It is, but for all intents and purposes, a pre-trial hearing where I wish to discuss the probable cause.
So yeah, that's specifically what I'm sort of pointing at. Like pre-trial hearing, I can understand when. I'm basing once again. Forgive me since it's been a minute. But I'm very much used to pre-trial hearings in which like evidence is being discussed, depositions, etc., etc. I haven't heard one in which PC needs to be discussed, and I didn't see any reference to it in the due process legislation or anything along those lines. And the question that it raised in my mind, and I'd love to get a better understanding of it, is as law enforcement in the state of San Andreas ipso facto functions as a district attorney's office, where we need to operate both in writing our warrants as well as issuing things to the docket and acting as prosecutors. Us going to a probable cause hearing would be the equivalent to having to lay all our cards out on these charges. So
I'm only looking for I'm only looking for one charge.
I'm sorry?
I'm only looking to discuss the probable cause of one charge.
I'll be transparent, Robin. That seems only to benefit you then.
Yeah.
That doesn't give a
course.
fairness.
Everything I do is to
state.
benefit me. It's
of course you are the defense after all, but that isn't fair to the state.
Right. Is it? I guess what I'm asking is that even valid?
That's my point.
Why isn't it fair?
Because if you're only going after a few pieces of evidence, then it's very clearly targeted. It's selective and circumstantial. It's not for the broader picture.
Well, yes, because that's the defense I'm choosing to mount.
Then why can't it happen during the trial?
To save everyone time?
I don't see the need.
Yeah.
I will, no matter what, they'll push us forward to the justices, and one of them will be presiding, stepping in.
Okay. All right. Maybe we request Mr. Faulkner.
If you can get the belt off his arm.
Is there a likelihood, or has it been discussed and/or looked at whether or not this case and well, actually, I don't know if Robin here will be. Actually, you did enter in for the other four, but in terms of the other four members facing the same pretty equivalent charges for the same circumstances, are we going to be looking to sort of not merge, but
I
seems
heard
like
the Benny
one.
Razer case stemmed from an entirely different incident, though.
It's a separate day. They're all being accused of harboring Sean McGowan.
They're all with same sort of circumstances, just separate incidents, but the same. It's like, I don't know how to explain it. I think Robin's defense would be pretty similar in both. Seems as if I don't know. I feel like that's an assumption, but I feel like
I mean, given what Mr. Knight said, I think I'll keep my cards close to the chest.
no. I'm just
Wait, what did I say? I'm confused.
Well, you were just saying, we would have to lay our cards out on the table, so I guess I might be doing the same.
No, it's not that. I'll be a little bit more pointed and there are a number of I'm kind of pointing at like what motions are the defense and the prosecution able to make outside of a regular pretrial hearing. When I see something like, a motion to a probable cause hearing, that's very particular, and that particular option is not in legislation, and it infers that if that sort of thing were entertained, then all types of pretrial motions would be entertained within the scope of the United States. And
sounds like an opportunity of a common law. Ask me.
How with what court case?
I mean, use this and use part of the ruling. Well, it was depending on the outcome, I suppose.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a pretrial hearing that would need legislative change. Because otherwise, my point is, there's like dozens of these sort of motions that can be made that historically have not been used because they don't fit. And so, is it even valid to be asking for a probable cause hearing? Now, I'm not pressed one way or another. I'm merely asking for clarity, right?
Yeah, I was also just merely asking for one. If it was denied, it would be denied.
Yeah,
I suppose it's aimed at Your Honor.
And I only mentioned the somewhat merging of the both to save, like Robin said, save time and what his efforts were because of. I make that assumption because both of his motions on both of the posts are the exact same, except for the substitution of his to their and Benny Razer to 4 different names. So
precisely.
That speaks as to why I believe he will likely be using the same defense. So why have 2 cases, if at all possible, to merge?
Okay, that's definitely a very interesting argument. When I'm bringing this forward to other members of the justices, I will make sure to bring that up.
Also, in an attempt to attempt to not have the 4 others and/or Benny and/or vice versa spend any unnecessary time incarcerated waiting for their chance.
Yeah, I very much agree. This is
Finley still has my retainer agreement on them.
Bright light on that very real issue. Notion of combining the trials, notion of a pre-trial hearing specifically for probable cause. Is there anything else that I need to make sure I'm bringing forward, or am I missing anything?
Separate question that had come up in my mind was the process by which, so today someone is arrested, let's say they have a hag, they are placed on a bail. There's 72 hours in order to post to the docket. What happens if, in this case, it's posted to the docket a day later? Are we to reissue a bail? And because there's no procedure actually documented on that in that particular case. So is he rebailed now?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time? I think you lost me.
Absolutely. So today, I'm just gonna bring this up just for reference, so we have something to point at. The due process and jurisprudence. Under the Heinous Act guidelines, citizens who are charged with the Heinous Act with sufficient probable cause will be held for no longer than 12 hours pending arraignment. Now, previously, this particular line, required us as law enforcement to have probable cause signed off on by the DOJ in advance of HAG. That seemingly is not the case anymore. So the inference of us having probable cause is the onus lands on us. After which an individual will be considered arraigned once they have gone before a justice, and bail conditions are set on the docket, right? So that's where we put in the docket posting, right, for the bail conditions. It gets signed off. And then it says charges must be placed on the docket within 72 hours of filing. So after the 72 hours, the bail condition, as in this particular case, the bail conditions were, removed, understandably. But now that the HAG charges have been posted to the docket, what happens with the bail?
It still holds water. It wouldn't be reposted. It's just still considered until the time of their trial, unless I might be missing something still.
Yeah, and that might be the case, but it's not actually. That hasn't been posted.
What's the point of the 72 hours then?
I was told differently.
Okay, yeah, Jayna, please go ahead because I'm missing something here.
I was told that after the 72 hours, if the charges were not filed, that the bail would be dropped, and then PD still had the 30 days to push the charges, but the bail would not.
The bail would not be valid. I'm so sorry. I apologize.
If they broke
bail,
bail,
misunderstood. Yes.
If they broke bail,
I thought
they'd still be held until
but
trial.
But if the charges are posted.
Yes, the charges are posted now, so they would still.
And the bail is still valid. Like if they're so we're waiting for trial. The bail is still valid until the time of the.
Benny Razer.
Yeah,
Benny Razor's bail was posted at 2:30 p.m. on Monday. That time had elapsed, and then the charges came later. After the time had elapsed, the 72 hours had elapsed, I asked for his bail to be removed and charges to be dismissed. I was swinging for the fences because I'd rather not ask for whatever. I was just trying to see what I could get. It was ruled upon that Mr. Benny Razer is no longer on bail, but the charges would still be able to be filed. The charges have been filed. It is mine and Mr. Razor's understanding that he is not on bail and under no conditions.
We would agree with that. I think what we're raising is, do we now file to put him back on bail? It's undocumented. That's why we're
I see your argument now.
Yeah,
that's why.
Okay.
Jayna.
Okay.
I will discuss it with the others.
Okay.
And we will find a
awesome.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. It's been a very long day. We will resolve this. It will be resolved, and we'll figure out a proper solution for it.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Your Honor. We're not really pressed one way or another. Just to be clear for all parties. We just want to make sure we're doing it the right way.
Okay.
Yep.
It's appreciated. Still, illuminating light on these holes will only make it so that we can move forward and adapt.
All right. Awesome. All right. Beautiful. Okay.
Is there anything else?
I think we are good.
Okay. If you guys don't mind, I do need to speak with Jayna.
Yep. All right.
I gotta unlock the door real quick.
Thank you, Jayna.
You should ask Falcon how Mrs. Miller's doing.
I will.
Are you fucking his wife? Like, what do you mean?
No, it's a personal thing.
Oh, okay. Poor Jayna, man. All right. Well.
What do I need my checkbook for, Ventura?
I was just trying to get paid.
Right.
Should I have brought up the...
I was trying to get paid yesterday in gold, but Peter said no.
Should I have brought up the other thing? I didn't feel comfortable doing it.
Which one?
Nice night.
You too. the like, were y'all like ruling on that shit? Like, I didn't want to open up that can of worms.
No,
I feel like it was getting spicy in there. So I genuinely do not believe she was.
I don't think there was any malice.
I don't think so either. The thing is, like, Jayna was literally trying to help us as the only available judge. I just hope she doesn't get ultra fucked by this.
I think the other thing is, and I've seen it in the other judges too, with just like bench trials and stuff, and they've even said themselves they haven't had training since they've been like elected.
Well, she was asked to come down here, and there was a justice tapped in as well. So, you know, I don't know.